Is Jungkook's Soundcheck about to break the internet? Si-hyuk's bold decision sparks US media suspicion. Free promotion or narrative control? What if the most powerful marketing move ahead of BTS's world tour wasn't a teaser trailer, a surprise single, or a high-budget documentary, but a quiet decision made behind closed doors at HYB? What if the real spark was something far more dangerous, far more organic, and impossible to fully control, letting cameras roll freely during Jungkook's Soundcheck? As global timelines begin to flood with unfiltered images and videos, American media outlets are starting to ask an uncomfortable question. Is this generosity toward fans, or a calculated strategy designed by Si-hyuk himself to dominate the global narrative before BTS even steps onto the main stage? From Tokyo to Los Angeles, from fan accounts to mainstream headlines, the speculation is growing louder. And at the center of it all stands Jungkook, silent, focused, devastatingly present. During a moment that was never meant to be this public, the announcement itself seemed simple, almost harmless. On January 31st, 2026, BTS's official Japanese account on X reminded fans that the deadline for the Soundcheck lottery for the BTS World Tour, Arirang, in Japan, was just one day away. 2,000 winners. Tokyo Dome. April 17th and 18th, 2026. No concert ticket required. And then, almost casually, one line that changed everything. Fans would be allowed to take photos and videos during the Soundcheck. That single sentence detonated across the fandom. Soundchecks have always existed in a strange, sacred space. They are not concerts, not rehearsals, not fully private, and not fully public. They are where idols appear without the armor of choreography, lighting, and performance personas. Voices crack. Smiles are unscripted. Eye contact lingers too long. For artists like Jungkook, whose global appeal often lies in the tension between perfection and vulnerability, a Soundcheck is not just preparation. It is exposure. Why allow it to be recorded? This is the question American pop culture commentators are now circling. Several US-based entertainment writers have noted that in an era where labels aggressively restrict filming rights, HYB's decision feels almost rebellious. Or strategic. Or both. The timing is impossible to ignore. BTS's return to the world stage through the Arirang tour marks their first full-scale international tour after a long hiatus. Expectations are crushing. Every move is being dissected for meaning. And Jungkook, as the group's youngest member and arguably its most globally recognizable face, sits at the center of that pressure. Allowing unrestricted recording during his Soundcheck does something no paid advertisement can achieve. It hands narrative power to fans while simultaneously guiding what that narrative will inevitably be about. Jungkook's raw presence, his live vocals, his physicality, his almost unsettling ability to command attention even when he is not performing officially. American media has seen this pattern before.
Beyoncé's surprise drop.
Taylor Swift's secret sessions. Billie Eilish's intimate rehearsal clips. But what makes this different, analysts argue, is scale. 2,000 cameras. Thousands more reposts. Millions of impressions within hours. And none of it labeled as promotion. Did I ask this free promotion? Or is it the most sophisticated form of narrative control yet? Si-hyuk has long been viewed not just as a producer, but as an architect of cultural movements. From BTS's early storytelling arcs to their global expansion strategy, his fingerprints are everywhere. Critics in the US music industry often describe him as someone who understands fandom not as a market, but as a living organism. Give it the right stimulus, and it will spread your message faster than any algorithm. Why allowing fans to film Jungkook during Soundcheck. HYB ensures that the first visual impressions of the Arirang tour are not glossy, overproduced clips released by a label. Instead, they are shaky hands, gasps caught on audio, moments of silence where Jungkook looks up and the entire room seems to stop breathing. That kind of content doesn't feel like marketing. It feels like discovery, and discovery is addictive. Within hours of the announcement, American fan communities on X, TikTok, and Reddit began theorizing. Some called it the smartest move Si-hyuk has ever made. Others were uneasy. A recurring question surfaced repeatedly. If this is truly organic, Why does it feel so perfectly timed? The Arirang album, after all, is the key to entry. Only buyers of BTS's fifth album, released for pre-order on January 16, 2026, are eligible for the lottery. Purchase through Wever Shop or Universal Music Store, and you're in. The Soundcheck becomes both a reward and a catalyst. Fans buy the album. Fans attend the Soundcheck. Fans record Jungkook. Fans flood the internet. The album's presence intensifies without a single paid ad in sight. From a Western industry perspective, this blurs the line between fan service and funnel marketing. US media outlets are particularly fascinated by the fact that fans without concert tickets can still attend the Soundcheck. This flips traditional tour hierarchies upside down. The most intimate moment is no longer reserved for VIP ticket holders, but for lottery winners tied directly to album sales. Is this democratization, or is it precision targeting? Another layer complicates the narrative further. The cultural theme of the tour itself. Arirang is not just a title. It references a traditional Korean folk song, a symbol of resilience, longing, and collective memory. By pairing this theme with unrestricted fan documentation, HYBE may be doing something quietly radical, allowing global audiences to witness Korean cultural storytelling not through a polished export, but through fragmented, personal lenses. And the United States, where authenticity has become a marketing buzzword drained of meaning, this approach stands out. Entertainment analysts have noted that Gen Z audiences, in particular, trust fanshot footage more than official content. They believe what feels stolen, not staged. Jungkook Soundcheck, then, becomes a battleground of perception. Early reactions from Japanese fans who have participated in similar events suggest the emotional impact is intense. Jungkook reportedly interacts casually, tests vocals, laughs at mistakes, and makes eye contact in ways that feel almost confrontational in their intimacy. These are moments that, once uploaded, cannot be controlled, and yet, perhaps that is precisely the point. American media speculation increasingly frames this as a calculated risk. By allowing everything, HYBE controls nothing, and in doing so, controls the outcome. There will be no scandalous leak, because everything is already permitted. There will be no debate over authenticity, because nothing is hidden. The narrative becomes not, what is HYBE trying to hide? But can you believe they let us see this? This strategy also shields Jungkook from another looming threat: unrealistic expectations. By showing him before the main performance, before the spectacle, the public sees the work behind the magic. Voice warm-ups, casual clothes, human moments. When the concert finally arrives, the contrast amplifies the impact rather than diminishing it. Still, skepticism remains. Some US commentators argue that this level of exposure could backfire. Oversaturation is a real risk. If Jungkook dominates timelines weeks before the tour officially begins, will audiences feel fatigue? Or will anticipation only intensify? The data so far suggests the latter. The official announcement post alone has surpassed 200,000 views with thousands of likes and reposts. Fan speculation videos rack up millions of views within hours. And crucially, none of this feels forced. Si-hyuk has not commented publicly on the decision. HYBE has issued no explanatory statement. Silence, in this case, functions as fuel. The lack of clarification allows media narratives to multiply, each one reinforcing the idea that something significant is unfolding. Is this the future of global tour promotion? A model where fans become broadcasters, sound checks become viral events, and the line between rehearsal and performance dissolves. For Jungkook, the implications are personal as well as professional. He has long been positioned as BTS's bridge to Western audiences. Fluent in musical language, adaptable across genres, and emotionally legible even without translation, his presence during the Soundcheck becomes a soft launch of BTS's next era, where nothing is hidden. As April approaches, all eyes are on Tokyo Dome. Not just for the concerts, but for what happens before them. For the moment when Jungkook steps onto the stage, microphone in hand, unaware of which camera angle will define the next viral clip, American media may continue to debate whether this is free promotion or narrative control. Fans may argue whether it's generosity or genius. But one thing is becoming impossible to deny: BY letting Jungkook's Soundcheck be seen, recorded, and shared without restriction. Bang Si-hyuk may have already won the most important battle of the Arirang tour, the battle for attention, and the real question now isn't why HYB allowed it. It's whether any global artist can afford not to do the same ever again. The deeper American media digs into this decision, the more the narrative shifts from curiosity to fascination. Because what is unfolding around Jungkook's Soundcheck is no longer just about access. It is about power: who holds it, who releases it, and who benefits when control is intentionally loosened at precisely the right moment. Several US entertainment analysts have begun framing this as a psychological play rather than a marketing one. By allowing fans to record freely, HYB is not chasing virality. It is engineering inevitability. When thousands of fans are authorized to document the same moment from different angles, authenticity becomes statistically guaranteed. Even if one clip feels staged, 100 others will contradict it. Truth, in this ecosystem, emerges through volume, and Jungkook, perhaps more than any other BTS member, thrives under that kind of exposure. American outlets have long described him as camera-proof, an artist whose presence remains compelling regardless of framing, lighting, or context. During official performances, this translates into dominance. During sound checks, it translates into something more dangerous: relatability without dilution. The Jungkook scene warming up his voice, adjusting his in-ear monitors, or smiling faintly at the crowd is not less impressive than the superstar version. In many ways, he is more so. This is where the suspicion sharpens, because if Bang Si-hyuk understands anything deeply, it is the emotional economy of fandom. He knows that fans do not just consume performances, they collect moments. And sound checks, by nature, are moments that feel stolen from time. Allowing them to be recorded transforms them into currency, emotional assets that circulate endlessly online, accumulating meaning with each repost. US media outlets have started comparing this to political campaign strategies, where controlled leaks are more influential than official press releases. By not issuing a single explanatory statement, HYB leaves space for interpretation, and interpretation invites engagement. Every theory becomes content. Every question becomes fuel. Why now? Why Jungkook? Why Japan? Why Arirang? The answers are never stated, but the clues are everywhere. Japan remains one of BTS's strongest markets, yet it is also a space where fan culture places immense value on proximity and respect. Allowing filming during a sound check there sends a powerful message: trust. That trust, once granted, is rarely broken. Japanese fan clips are known for restraint, emotional intensity, and careful framing. They don't scream, they observe. For Jungkook's image, this environment is almost surgically ideal. American commentators have also pointed out the symbolic weight of Tokyo Dome itself. It is not just a venue, it is a rite of passage. Allowing unrestricted filming in such a space elevates the sound check from a warm-up into a historical prelude. When fans upload footage, they're not just sharing Jungkook, they are documenting a return, and returns are always louder than debuts. The Arirang tour, thematically rooted in a song about separation and reunion, gains another layer through this decision. Jungkook's sound check becomes a visual metaphor, a voice testing the air after silence, a presence reintroducing itself before the official announcement of "We are back." For American audiences unfamiliar with the cultural weight of Arirang, these visuals become their entry point. They don't need translation. They need feeling. This is where the idea of narrative control becomes more complex. HYB is not controlling what fans post. It is controlling the conditions under which meaning is made. By choosing when to open the gates, they determine which emotions dominate the discourse. Excitement instead of scrutiny. Awe instead of skepticism. Intimacy instead of distance. Some US critics remain unconvinced. They warn that blurring the line between private preparation and public performance risks normalizing constant access, which could eventually erode boundaries for artists. Jungkook, known for his dedication and sensitivity, could become overexposed in ways that are difficult to reverse. But others counter with a sharper observation. Boundaries are strongest when they are consciously flexed, not rigidly enforced. By allowing access now, HYB sets a precedent that this is an exception, not a standard. Scarcity, paradoxically, is reinforced through generosity. As clips from past BTS sound checks resurface for comparison, fans notice something else. Jungkook has changed. His posture, his stillness, the way he listens to the room before singing. This evolution becomes a storyline of its own.